Bonjour, welcome sur LeMove, bienvenue sur LeMove. So, c'est pas le premier épisode, émission de danse de Montréal. So, Montreal dance show where we go deeper behind the move. Speaking in English parce qu'on est à Montréal, il y a les deux langues, je pense que c'est important d'unir les deux. So, we can make it in English today because our guest is a legend, something else. I had to do my homework and I gave up on doing the homework, so like there's no way I can figure all that things out. We're gonna ask him questions and figure it out for ourselves. So our show is about finding what's behind the move, what's behind the dancers. We're trying to have different background, different level of experience. And today we have someone who toured the world, performed in 30 plus countries. I seen your website, it was a pretty cool website. In front of 1 million people and more, crowd of more than 1 million people. He did Red Bull, like he did all the competition in the world. We're talking b-boys. We're gonna be in the b-boy world today, so break dancer. People that think that street dance is just break dance, no. But they kind of started it. They had a huge role to play. You did opening ceremonies for the Olympic twice.
For the Olympics recently and then the Paralympics twice.
Paralympics in 2010s. We
Yeah.
won't talk about all of that because like I could make a list, but it's not. I'm not good at that. I'm young in this game. So we have Lazylegg today.
Cool. What's up, everyone? How's it
Yeah.
going? What's up, bro?
Legend
How are
in
you?
Montreal, veteran. I'm very good. How are you?
I'm good, man.
Yeah, nice.
Thank you for having me.
You know what's cool? I'm not sure it's gonna be the first episode that drops, but the first meeting I had with the producer, my co-producer of the show, when we were ready to send the invites, I was walking outside on Place des Arts and I saw you outside. I was like, okay, signs of the universe, gotta be him.
Yeah.
And then we battled, I think, twice.
Yeah.
Or twice or 3 times. It happened multiple times, and that's all I knew about him. So the guy that battled that fucked me up twice, you know?
Well, I was actually trying to think about it because I feel like you beat me once and I beat you once.
No,
I
they
think
did a tie and it was disrespect.
Oh, really?
I thought you won.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 'cause I've been a fan for a long time.
Thank you.
So, Lazylegg.
What's up?
Yeah, finally.
Yes.
I'm intimidated.
Don't be, man. Let's have
That's
fun.
what's
Let's
cool is
enjoy.
because most of the people that have so much experience are most of the time, if not all the time, the most grounded, nice, humble people to talk with. So, are you from Montreal?
I'm from Montreal, but I was raised in Bethesda, Maryland, like a suburb just outside Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
And my parents are from Italy. So
Okay.
my parents moved here from Italy, had my brother and I lived here for like 3.5 years. And then when I was 3.5, 4 years old, we moved to Washington, D.C. or Bethesda,
Mhm.
Maryland. And then I did all my schooling, like elementary, middle, and high school.
Yeah.
And once I graduated high school, I was university bound and I got accepted to Concordia University, so I came up here. My parents decided to actually move up here too. And I came here for university and I've been here ever since. So it's
Yeah.
been since 2002 and yeah.
You graduated too.
I graduated with a degree in marketing at Concordia University, but it took me like 9 years to graduate, partially because when I first started university, I didn't know what I wanted to do.
You were an
So-
artist too, right?
Yeah, and
There's a lot of artists at school that watch this today and they want to hear that story, you know?
Well, I was like,
How did you do it?
I started like, I think it was with like a degree in economics and like a master's in arts.
Yeah.
And I kind of just started like choosing different classes and I wasn't really knowing what I was choosing. I was really like going through the list. It's like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Okay, this one sounds
Let's
cool.
try that.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, and then there's one time I actually ended up taking a marketing class and it was just fun.
Mhm.
And there was something about just the creativity of just trying to be able to put something out there and promote yourself. And I'm like, well, I'm doing this naturally with dance. Why don't I make this into a career?
Yeah, because
And
you were
so-
already a dancer.
Well, I was starting to dance in the
Okay.
sense that I started dancing in Washington, D.C., but so I started in the year 2000, and in the year 2002, I broke my leg in my first battle.
Was your first battle ever?
I had done like a cameo in a battle like a couple months prior,
Yeah.
but it was my first time like joining a crew.
Uh-huh.
So like in Washington D.C. there was this one crew at the time, they were called Fusion Force, and they were one of like the big name crews, and they were like the ones that had just won the previous battle. And they're like, yo, Lazyleggs, we want you to do this battle with us, but we know we're gonna win with you. So like I go in with this huge like ego, I'm like, yes, I'm gonna win this battle. It was like $1,000 prize at the time, you know, you're 17 years old, it's like, holy shit, this is amazing. and I'm like warming up. I'm on the sides in the ciphers. I go into a move. I span too quickly. I slip and I broke my leg, and I didn't even get to battle that day. And so basically, like, it was just like the ambulance picked me up. I had an immediate surgery.
Oh wow! Okay, ambulance and all that.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
just-
Like, I ended up in a full body cast actually because the way they like my fracture was a spiral fracture, so my left foot was completely upside down, and because of the way my bones are and like my condition, like I actually needed to go to a special hospital. Like,
So you had a condition before, so you're born with your condition? I
yes.
don't want to spend too much time on that, but okay.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, like
Yeah.
I was born with a neuromuscular disorder called arthrogryposis.
Yeah.
So it's a condition that affects the bones, the joints, and the muscles in your body. And so I use crutches to walk on a daily basis. And my dance style incorporates the strength of my arms and my crutches as an extension of my arms.
It did not stop
So-
you. I can tell you that.
No, and I continue.
Because of that, it was a very special injury because it had to be treated differently, basically.
Yeah, so basically it took me to a general hospital.
Yeah.
They wanted to insert like metal rods and like my
Yeah.
body can't handle that, like at least my legs can't. So then I got transferred to another hospital, like the one that specializes for people with my disability. So I went to go see like my actual doctor, which was like 2 hours away. And this was in Washington, D.C. It never snows. That day there was like a freak snowstorm. So my
Yeah.
parents are
testing
driving.
you,
Like
like,
it's crazy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You want to dance? Yeah, that's
And
crazy.
so I end up having surgery. I wake up in a full body cast. Like the cast comes up to my chest, so I can't move. This is like my senior year of high school. I miss the whole half of the year. So, however, I homeschool and I do like extra credits, so I'm able to graduate with the rest of the group. So I actually like didn't go to school. However, I crossed the graduation with the rest of the class. And then that summer I moved to Montreal. So I just pretty much disappeared though. Like no one in the Washington DC area knew that I left. And then
Yeah.
once I moved to Montreal, I had no friends. I wanted to search like for that community. I was searching for something. I heard about Under Pressure.
So what age were around 20?
I was 18.
18,
I had
okay.
just turned 18.
So you just started seeing the scene over there. Were you practicing by yourself before joining like the dance scene, you know?
So I was like, yeah, I mean, in my basement, you know,
Yeah.
the same way, like, you just put a song on, and like at the time,
Was it
there
B-boy? Was it breakdance?
It was breaking, yeah.
Yeah,
Like for
breaking.
me, with breaking, what I really liked was when I was introduced to it was just the challenge of creating movements that are unique to you.
Yeah.
And that's what I really like about breaking is that like compared to other dance styles,
Yeah.
where other dance styles is a lot more like choreographic based. It's like follow me or do what this other person is doing. I knew I couldn't do those things. So I was always intimidated when I saw dance in general. But when my friend introduced me to breaking, he's like, well, no, you can do this. Look, you're already strong in your arms.
Yeah.
You're doing this. So why don't you just try to spin with it? Why don't you just try to do this? It's like, okay, cool. And because naturally there were some moves I could do that were part of my vocabulary, that just kind of like looked like movements. People were like, yo, this is dope. I'm like, okay, cool. And so they helped me work with it, like within the community. And so I started developing this style, really just using the strength of my arms. And so for those that don't know how I dance, basically I have a very strong upper body and a very like little upper body, lower body. So like the way like I like to imagine it is like if you see like the caricature of like the muscle on the beach, like the big muscle guy, and then just the little legs. That's kind of me. And essentially, when I'm dancing, like usually my legs are floating, and I'm just like throwing my body around in different positions, but with my legs always floating. And I incorporate my crutches as well too in the dance, and that's what
No, you did
separated
that against me. It's cool because no excuse, right? You didn't care. It's like, oh, they don't care. Okay, I don't care. I don't want to care. I want to dance. They don't care over there. Let's go over there. That's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't have a lot of. It's crazy because my first style ever was b-boy, but it was not my style. But the first dance class that I took was with Vicious.
Yeah.
Vicious, a nice veteran here in Montreal.
You know, actually,
Yeah.
Vicious was taking dance classes in the South Shore,
Okay.
and Crypto, who's
Yes.
a b-boy from Montreal, was teaching that studio, and Vicious was one of them, one of their students. Crypto ended up getting a contract and asked me to replace that class, and so I was teaching Vicious and all of the Sweet Technique guys before they were Vicious and Sweet Technique.
And now they repped
everything.
us all over the world.
Yeah.
So you had your part to play at some point. You know?
Yeah, so no, it's
That's
really cool. I'm
cool,
so
yeah.
proud of Vicious. I'm so proud of everyone in Sweet Technique. You know, it's just really dope to see Montreal on the map in the international scenes.
We're going to talk about you a lot, but we're going to talk about the breaking scene a lot because Yes, the street dance community, like the all-style battle, there's all the styles there, but I know not all the b-boys gonna come to the all-style event.
Mhm.
And it's understandable, it's that same thing in all the styles, but I know the b-boy community is super huge in a way that I didn't witness fully. So that's a part of the city that I want to meet more, I want to know more about it. I always know the same ones, I know like 15 of them maximum, you know?
Yeah.
I know them, but I know there's like hundreds, I'm sure.
Yes
Or,
and no.
I guess it's on and off, but you have your own events, they're kind of full, right?
Yeah, I would
Some
say
years
that
that it was.
the breaking community here in Montreal has gone through waves. It's gone roller
Okay,
coasters,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, and I'd say that that's also with the evolution of breaking worldwide.
Yeah.
So like in the early 2000s, like crew representation was very strong. So like in Montreal, there was a period where we actually had like 10, 11, 12 crews that were repping strong. Like you had your 4 main crews that were the
Yeah.
ones that would always win.
The leaders, yeah.
And then you had like sub crews of them, or just in general like other kids from schools and stuff. They're like, oh, I'm going to create my own crew. Nowadays, I'd say because of the way that like the Red Bull events, the Olympics getting involved with breaking, it's become a lot more individualistic and
Mhm.
less crew oriented. All of the dancers still are part of crews. However, crew battles are not as prevalent in the
Mhm.
scene. They used to be like every 2 months, every 3 months. Now it's maybe once a year, twice a year that you have like a full crew battle. And I think that now that the Olympics are done, we're slowly starting to see that again. And I do think that the scenes are going to grow because of the success of the Olympics, the success of
Mhm.
breaking. More parents are getting involved by getting their kids involved in
Yeah.
breaking. And so we're seeing younger generations becoming stronger than the older
It's
generations.
too iconic not to be not to be more present than what it is today. Like I teach in schools a lot. I do a lot of parascolaire, they call it in French,
Yeah.
right? I had like 11 groups per week. Every single group, there's at least one kid that just want to break.
Yeah,
And he's like 7.
yeah.
So dancing for him is what? He goes on his hand on the floor and he turns his
Right.
foot around because he saw it once on TV and it stick to him because
Yeah.
it's so unique.
Well, it's interesting you talk about that because
Yeah.
like there's some kids that just have it innate in them.
I come from
And
somewhere, right? I
it-
don't think it's new.
No, but it's
Yeah.
it's interesting because like so I teach like a class at Cafe Graffiti. So
Yes.
I have a free dance class on Wednesdays for youth under 18, and there is like this one kid that comes, has never braked in his life.
Mhm.
I've worked with him 6 sessions.
Yeah.
This kid can already spin on his head.
Oh wow.
He learned how to swipe, like, and physically there's some moves I can't do. So
Mhm.
I'll show like a tutorial video
Or
like,
you can
and
plug them
stuff
with
like
someone,
that.
like you can show them the whole path.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like he'll come back the next week and he'll actually do that move and he
Oh, wow,
studies
yeah.
it and like he's got it, you know.
I guess we're
And-
gonna see him.
but there's some people that have it, you know, and like you're in the crump scene, like I'm sure you know Adeline, right?
Of course.
Like she's 11
Adeline's
years
gonna
old.
come here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she's 11 years old and like her confidence, her musicality. Like, do you remember being 11 years old and just being so comfortable to the music and
I've
also
been
into your
comfortable
body?
in my life, in anything until like 15. I was a weird kid. Like I was very creative, but I was not confident like this. Not in those type of
But
contexts.
yeah,
They made a whole circus piece about her. They took her in the middle. You saw that piece? La Géante?
I've seen a couple of pieces, but like
Yeah.
I know like I've seen clips. I haven't seen the whole
Yeah,
show.
oh my god, I seen it and it was crazy. So they took her. She had the main role, and they made a whole show around that.
It's incredible.
Incredible.
And
yeah.
but like at 11 years old, so you feel like how empowering that is, you know.
Of course,
And
I can't even imagine what it's gonna do in the future.
I know.
I started late. I started at like 15.
But that's what I'm saying is that like the generation today have parents supporting them, right? Where our generation, like your generation below mine, but like even my generation,
Yeah.
I'm sure your generation, didn't necessarily have that parent support.
Yeah.
Maybe out of every 10 dancers, one group of parents would come to an event.
Mhm.
Where here, you actually have more parents coming to an event than actual dancers.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
cool. That's cool.
And I think that that's something that's empowering the scene and helping, you know, back in our days, I would say, when we would dance, we kind of have to hide it from our parents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
I'm
like,
sure.
what are you doing? Nothing, studying, and then like you'd be putting on music. You know what I mean? Here it's like, don't worry about studying.
We were
Go
okay.
and dance, go and
It
practice.
started with us, but it was still not a career. And today, I bet they already, because it's at TV, it's on TVA now, like one of the main Québécois TV platform for those might be international. This is interview,
Yeah.
or something, you know. So it changed very fast. It's cool to see that.
Yeah.
They see me as some young see me as a veteran. I'm like, guys, I'm also new to this.
Yeah.
Y'all opened a lot of doors for us, and now all the doors are open for everybody. Like, they have access to the knowledge. They have parents that are b-boy, because it was, when it started to really boom was early 2000, you would say, or here at least.
So, you know, I mean,
that's when you were here.
There was waves. There was
Right.
waves. Yeah. So like I'd say like you had a pocket where it was booming like in the 80s.
Yeah.
Because you had New Energy, which was like DKC's crew. There was a crew even just before that, Tactical Crew. And they were very like prevalent, like, you know, music produced, and they were like,
okay, so
anytime
there was a
there was
game
events,
like this.
there was
something I don't
activities.
even know. I didn't know all of that.
And then like in the mid to late 90s, it kind of died, and then it started kind of picking up again in the early 2000s. Early 2000s up until now, I would say. And even within these last 20 years, it's done this, right? And I think that now it's just dance in general. Although we have our different styles, so like, for example, like you have your style, I have my style. At the end of the day, now it's a lot more acceptable for our styles to merge and like to create shows together. Where like 20 years ago, you wouldn't necessarily see a breaking crew on a theater stage at Place des Arts doing contemporary break, right? And now it's like, okay, well, if you want to make a career out of it, how can you open yourself up to all different dance styles and open yourself up to just creative movements? And you know what I'm saying, in that aspect of things. And that's what I would say would separate like your b-boy to your artist in that aspect of things.
Yeah, that's why we often have some conversation about that, about the fact, the identity of like, I'm a dancer, but I'm a b-boy, I'm a crumper. When you do a style, a lot of people, yeah, but I just want to dance. Yeah, but the style will give you a structure that will give you more freedom than you think. But then a lot of people can lose themselves in that a lot, me included. It happened a bunch of times. Like, who am I as a dancer beside those styles? It's this, I do crump, I do brock up. They're both my main style. And so I was like, you know what? I don't give a fuck. When I'm there, I do crump. When I'm there, I do brock up. And if I want to mix it at home, I do it. And now, like you say, it's way more, because people had idea. They did a show with b-boy mixing with ballet, and it was so great that gave ideas to other. I think the ideas we have are not for us.
Yeah.
So when we execute on them, it just developed into more ideas, more stuff. It's probably why today we see all these things.
Well, if you talk about like, if we're talking about like historically Montreal's like path, right? Rubber Band Dance was one of the first like theatrical breaking crews, right? Like where they mixed modern dance and hip hop and breaking, and like they fused it into one, you know. And they were one of the first touring companies from around the world. I mean, there was other companies too. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, there was a company in LA doing it as well too. There was also the Groovaloos that were doing more Broadway style, like introducing breaking, but they did it in the theater platform.
So you just said it was one of the first crew that toured the world?
Rubber Band Dance.
And they were from here?
Yeah.
So Montreal had a huge part to play.
Montreal had a lot to do it. You know, and please, like, I'm saying this from what I've heard.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's other people. Like, if you think about historically, the UK is very strong in hip hop theater dance. So you've got like Breaking Convention, John ZD, who's helped curate, and he was part of a lot of that. So I would say I don't know the exact time and era, because maybe before Rubber Band Dance there were a couple others.
Yeah.
But I would say that Rubber Band Dance was one that really toured the world.
They played their part for sure.
And they've done, you know, and they've been 20 years in the game, and to this day they're still active.
I think today is cool because we have so much access to knowledge now, where we can find out what they used to do. Who's the first one over there? Oh, it was before us. Oh, it was after. Oh, they knew each other. And so now we can like unite the world a little bit more.
Yeah.
Towards those passions that, for example, Crump is a good example I can give because I know about it a little bit. One DVD got out of Rise, and it was one of the things that started the communities around the world. It was most of the time, you're going to hear that it's because of they saw Rise, the documentary.
Yeah.
It started the community there in Russia. It started it in Japan. It started in Canada. It started everywhere at the same time. Boom.
Yeah.
You know?
Blew up.
But then here, you could know the history here and in the States, but you don't know the history in Japan.
Yeah.
But today we can travel, we can see Instagram, I can see who's their OG right away. So we can connect communities more. I think it's pretty cool.
No, and every community has their own history.
Oh, yeah.
And there was like about 10, 15 years ago, there was like a debate on the internet about how it's a positive and negative in terms of the internet is saturating dance, where you no longer have your, I'd say like national identity, where like you could watch like a Russian dancer, like a b-boy or a crumper, and you could tell that dancer came from Russia. The same way like a Canadian or a New York dancer or a LA dancer, like you would know, you can still see it. However, the internet has like opened up the doors where there could be a dancer in Montreal watching a video of a New York b-boy being like, okay, well, I'm going to represent New York when I'm dancing.
He doesn't learn from here, he's actually learning from there.
Yeah. So
like I did with Brock because it was not here, so I was literally learning from over there.
Yeah.
When some guys used to do it in Little Burgundy long time ago, I have no idea because I was in the northeast of the city.
Yeah.
So I learned from it from outside instead of learning it from my own city.
But like, imagine like maybe your style would be a little bit different.
I'm sure.
If you had learned it from Little Burgundy, right? Like, and so that's part of the conversation, is that now that dance, you know, like Japanese b-boys have a certain type of, and breakers, not just b-boys, but breakers in general have a certain type of personality when they dance. But that personality now is becoming like transferred to, you know, other dancers maybe in Europe. And I'm just saying this as an example.
Yeah, there's pros and cons for sure, but it's inevitable. Like we see that huge wave of. It's up to now education, you know, because I'm sure there's values that we can like I have a lot of students like because of TikTok now, right?
Yeah.
It's nice to see millions of people around the world dancing on the same track, doing the same movements. Spiritually, I really believe it do connect people together, but then they think that's all what dance is, and it stopped them from going to see the rest because they don't see it on TikTok. I say, yeah, but you will learn a lot more there. You can still do both, you know, but like, so I think now we need to readapt again for the.
I would love to get your opinion on this because I teach a lot at schools too.
Yeah, we all try to figure it out, even the teachers.
And I like one time I was like, who here likes to dance? Like, what's your dance style? And I was like, and this is me being 40 years old, like, like, and I was like, I was like, what's your dance style? And this person responded, TikTok.
It's crazy, huh?
And I'm just like, wait, what? Like, that's a style?
There's a huge risk to it.
And there's that part of me that wants to be like, get the heck out of here, like, go and learn your shit. And then there's that other part of me like that I have to be open to be like, okay, you know what? It's true. It is becoming a new style of dance, or it's becoming a new way for people to be introduced to dance. And there's the positive thing to it is that maybe that one introvert kid who would be at your parascolaire, for example, or mine, who might not participate, who might be like shelving themselves, but then will go home and take what they learned and then maybe feel more comfortable doing it in front of the camera. So we also have to be open to that, you know? And I'm still having like this fight in time. Is like, I'm against it, but I'm also for it, you know?
I think there's that. If we put, I like to say in my street dance mentality, if we put more real shit out there, it'll be more real shits out there. But anyway, it's there. Like as far as it doesn't erase some cultures so much, you know, because for example, they're gonna do some Amapiano styles from South Africa that's bumping right now. It's all over the place, and it's I love it because it kind of mix a lot of the traditions, because people there, they grew up with their traditions a lot, with modern day musical instruments like the mixers and all that, and they mix the old drum patterns with the mixers, so it's like a perfect mix of the ancient and the new. But then the dance move got so popularized with TikTok that some people, it's TikTok dance. No, it's a whole style. It comes from somewhere. Yeah. Right, Coach? Already we thought we created stuff in the 80s and hip-hop, and some people in Africa have been doing the same thing, right? Yeah. So we never really create things, but the culture is still worth it I think more and more they're going to watch those things too. They're going to go check. Like, if you do TikTok dance, it's good. But go learn about those styles because you will get better. You will learn more stuff. Well, you will learn different. The more you can do different things, the more options will show up in your brain. Yeah. Right. So. And I mean, that's the beauty about dance in general. Yeah. It's limitless movement, right? Yeah. At the end of the day, dancing with your eyebrows is dance, right? Sneezing is a dance. Like, at the end of the day, like, you can interpret that, and if there's an intention behind it, it's a movement. Of course. Right? And I think that that's one of the things that there's a misconception that people think that dance has to be a choreography or it has to be a move. But to me, it's about an expression of self. And that's what
I think that people that are in the culture understand, and then the people that are just doing it don't understand. It's the same thing like in skateboarding,
Yeah.
right? Like you have your posers and you've got your skaters,
Okay.
right? Like the people that dress the part, that will buy a skateboard and will kind of ride it, but they're just not knowing what they're doing.
Yeah.
And then you have the people that live on the skateboard who
really
is just
live,
like
yeah.
that live that culture. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, I think that now dance, which has always been this like very little like marginalized community in general, no matter what your style is, now it's being opened up to the world. So you're having these posers coming out, and so we as being in the culture are like, oh shit, like what are we doing? Like in that aspect, it's like learning shit the same way a skater would be.
Like studio dancers and street dancers doing street dances like hip hop and b-boy in studios, but then the street dancers that were not in the studio were like,
yeah,
they don't do shit.
Exactly.
But like then you can't deny that the culture is just bigger. The reality, or the maybe not the culture, but yeah, culture is not something that's firm. It evolves with what's happening, right? Change every day.
But I think that like your intention, right? I think that if we keep an open mind, we can all learn off of each other.
For sure.
And that's what's like the most important thing. And I think that that's where maybe our egos get involved about wanting to protect. But in reality, it's like, hey, like we can evolve our dance if we learn from these people, and they can evolve their dance if we teach them our ways too. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I think that we're starting to learn how to do more and more. Where I think that maybe 10, 15 years ago, it was a lot more closed-minded, you know.
We're really going to need a 3-hour interview, that's for sure. We're barely started your whole journey as a dancer yourself. Okay, so that was beautiful. We're going to do more of that. So now you show up in Montreal after your injury.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Look over there, okay.
And that's the toughest part of this job, is to keep it in the time, you know. Because you did so much. We're going to fly right through everything, you know. So when did you discover the dancing here? Did you decide to restart and you were looking for it, or it just happened by itself? Or?
So after I moved here, I was scared to start dancing again because I was like, I don't want to break my leg again. My parents were really pissed at me too. So I underwent 16 surgeries growing up from a very young age to help correct my body and all that type of stuff. And I was always walking on crutches, but it was just like we were going through this like, let's try to see if we can get him to learn to walk, or at least get him as far as possible. And me breaking my leg was taking those like 10 steps backwards and having to restart everything again. And so my parents were like, if you break your body again, like we're not going to help you. Like that was like the attitude of my parents. And my parents are old school Italian. They're not afraid to like express themselves, you know, and all of that. And when I moved here, I was searching for friends. I was searching for something. I found out about a competition called Under Pressure. It's a
Shout
big,
out Under Pressure,
yeah, it's a big graffiti convention here in Montreal, and they had a breaking competition, and I showed up. I had never danced before. From the day that I broke my leg, I just decided to sign up. I went in. I made it to the top 4, and ever since then, pretty much the doors kind of started opening for me to learn more about the community in Montreal. And at the time, there was practices at Rosemont College, there was practices at Dawson College, and at the YMCA. And so every single day, I was just like on the hunt for different practices. And I was meeting the different crews, so Area 51, Tactical Crew, Red Mask, Illmatic Styles. And I just kind of like, I was a solo b-boy in Montreal for the first 2 years. And then in 2004, one of the dancers that I was like hanging out with a lot, his name was Logo. And we would practice a lot together. We were doing street shows, and we were just like having fun and all that type of stuff. He just joined Illmatic Styles. Illmatic Styles is a crew out of the West Island. And I was like, you know, these guys are like the boy band of breaking. Like they were all good-looking guys. They were getting girls every single weekend. I was like, I want to join this crew. I want to party with them. And I was like, I want to have that like rock star lifestyle. That was like, because at the time they were like the rock stars of breaking. Like you had Red Mask and Tactical, which were the stronger technical dancers, but they were more like that public, like, you know, like the public image, like, you know. And so I was like, cool, I want to, like, Logo was taking me to their practices, and I was chilling and I was vibing with Illmatic Styles. And they had me, they put me down into their crew in 2004. And then in 2004, some of the dancers from Illmatic kind of started stop dancing, or slowly like were just like showing less interest. And it was in 2005 or 2006 that we had an opportunity to go to Chicago for City versus City,
Yeah.
which is like a big breaking battle at the time where it was just like citywide battles from anywhere in North America. And I decided to create Team Montreal. And I went to like every crew. At the time, the four main crews was Illmatic, Red Mask, Tactical, and Flow Rock. And I was like, hey, I want 2 to 3 members from each of your crews.
That's massive.
We're going to create
Just the
Team
guts to do that
Montreal.
is massive because it was probably some other drama, like we like them, but a bit.
Oh, but I'll tell you that there was drama even within
I
the
can
crew.
imagine
so
already, like, that
so
was a huge move.
It was cool. It was cool. And at
Yeah.
the time, I was a student at Concordia, and I had access. Like, I had created the Concordia Breakdance Club, and they gave me access for free space. And they're like, come whenever you want to practice. So I would bring those guys to the 7th floor, and we would practice there. And we had, so at the time, the members of the crew was Octofoot, Rocket, and Dingo from Red Mask. We had Skywalker and Speedy from Tactical. Myself, Flakes, and myself, Flakes quit. So myself, Shook, City from Illmatic, and then we had asked Flow Rock, but they were like, "Nah, we're not gonna vibe with you guys."
Yeah, there's always that.
So like
Maybe later they're like,
it's
"Ah, shit, we should have done that."
Well, Zig wanted to. And then he was like, I can't. And
Politics, yeah.
so, and then actually Fluid ended up joining with us last minute because his mom worked for Air Canada, so he just kind of flew to with us. Oh yeah, we also had Azian and Prototype from Area 51.
I know Prototype, yeah.
So Azian, and so we actually organized a fundraiser. There was a club called Tokyo. I don't know if it's still around on Saint Laurent.
I mean, it's still known, yeah.
Yeah, so like we had done a fundraiser. We raised over $3,000. We rented 2 vans. We got our hotel and we drove down to Chicago. We made top 8. We lost to Texas.
Is Tokyo still open? I don't know. So they had a breakdance in the Tokyo?
Well, so Octo and Dingo
Yeah.
and Rocket used to do a lot of stuff with the promoters of Tokyo.
Okay, that's
And
cool.
so we had access to that. And
Yeah.
basically the guys like, I'll give you guys full, you guys can keep the door as long as you can guarantee like $2,000 worth of sales of alcohol. And we're like, yeah, no problem. Like we have a lot of drinkers in our crew. Like we can party.
We're not gonna go there, but I know you boys can get down.
So
it was a b-boy event, but you were doing it there.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a party.
Okay,
it was called the Throwdown. We invited the whole community, and we raised over $3,000 that day. We drove to Chicago.
Nice.
We did really well, and then Illmatic and Red Mask, like we actually like bonded. Out of everyone in that whole crew in the Team Montreal, like Illmatic and Red Mask, like we actually became close friends. And so after that trip, we actually fused and we created Illmask. So the strongest members of Illmatic that were still dancing and the strongest members of Red Mask that were still dancing were like, look, we don't have enough to do a full crew just as Illmatic or enough as a full crew just to do Red Mask. Let's do Illmask. And so since that day, it was in 2005, Illmask was created. And so now like in Montreal, I rep Illmask.
So that came from 2 crews, came from Unity. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Did you do good over there? Did y'all rep Montreal good?
We did well, yeah. Like we made top 8. We lost to Texas. At the time, the crew that we battled in Texas, like they had some of the strongest power heads, and so like for us, it was cool because like we got to go up against them, and it was just like you watch their videos online or you hear about them.
So then
and,
you get there with them. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was fun, and I think the organizers were happy to see a Canadian crew out there in the U.S. Jam, like because at the time, you didn't have too many Canadians going to events. You had a couple dancers, like so there's in Toronto you had a couple dancers that were like making the name for themselves internationally at the time.
But as a crew?
Yeah, and Montreal wasn't really known internationally at the time.
Okay.
So
that's nice. So y'all put it in the map a little bit.
A little bit,
You played your part for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so after that, so Il Mask was born.
Yeah.
And that's 2004?
2005, yeah.
Okay. Damn.
Yeah.
When did Ill Abilities came?
So I created Ill Abilities in 2007.
Okay, just after, not long
Yeah,
after that.
and so essentially...
That's known now. Ill Abilities is probably like the most known of your accomplishment today, you know?
Yeah.
For a lot of people that don't know you, if I ask, it's, oh, the guy that did that. If I check on Google, I find out pretty fast.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that today Ill Abilities has their mark in the books for breaking. Like, Ill Abilities has the same weight, or similar, not the same, but equivalent weight to like a Rocksteady crew or like Renegade's crew
One
in
of
the
the
sense
most
of like,
legendary crews in the world. Because of their uniqueness, they're going to be remembered because they represented something.
I think so, yeah.
Can you explain what it is for those who don't know? What's Ill Abilities?
So Ill Abilities is an international super crew or all-star team of some of the best b-boys or breakers that all have different disabilities.
Yeah.
And Ill Abilities is really a play on words. So in hip-hop, ill, which literally means sick,
Yeah.
means amazing and incredible. So it's about amazing and incredible abilities. And in the crew, each dancer in the crew is like a legend within their own scene, you know.
Yeah.
At the time when I first started Ill Abilities, we were 4 dancers. So we have Cujo from Los Angeles. And so for anyone that knows about breaking, Cujo was a dancer who helped innovate a lot of the movements. So he was back in the mid to late 90s when breaking wasn't like super known, but it started getting back onto known. He was one of those dancers that actually helped create like the openness of dancing in your own way, in a unique way. And he's actually deaf. He can't hear the music. So he would compensate his style, because he had like a bad dance style, but he had crazy moves. And so at the time...
I was about to say, is musicality good? Because I know there's more than what we see or hear with music. Some people, the vibration by themselves, they can follow, so I don't know.
So if he's in a venue where he can feel the vibrations, he feels them, no problem.
Change some, yeah.
But what he does is he relies on the audience to bob their head or clap their hands to the beat. And so before he starts dancing, he's feeling the vibe, and then he just dances through your movement.
Oh, that's genius.
Then we had a dancer. He no longer dances with Ill Abilities. He's just working on his own personal projects, but his name's Tommy Guns. And so he's from San Francisco, part of Renegade's crew. And Tommy Guns had just lost his leg to cancer, but literally the day that he lost his leg, he jumped out of his hospital bed and he was like doing like a freeze, you know, like there's a picture of him that like of doing a freeze.
You realized it was lighter now.
Yeah. Well, you know what's incredible is that because he was dancing before losing his legs, and then he comes from Renegade's crew, which is like historically like the West Coast. It's the Rocksteady of the West Coast, and he was taught foundation from a very young age. And when you watch him dance with one leg, it actually looks as if he had his 2 legs, there's this like invisible leg. It's really incredible.
So I apologize to all the b-boy that's gonna feel like I don't know shit, but like I'm learning so much right now. It's beautiful.
And then we have a dancer from Chile, and his name is Chicho. And Chicho was born with a malformation in both of his legs. Yeah. And historically, Chicho was one of the first b-boys in Chile to ever travel outside of his country and to represent his country and some of the biggest breaking. Yeah, so it was really cool. So at the time when I started the crew, we were these 4 like all-star b-boys. And we didn't really know what we were doing with the crew. We were just like, hey, let's do battles, let's just do little showcases. I started getting involved in motivational speaking. So I actually trained all the dancers how to give their speeches too. So the idea was that they could start speaking in their own communities. And then when we're together, we could actually create a show where each dancer shares their story.
So cool.
Over time, we met another dancer named Ridu from the Netherlands. He's got multiple malformations all over his body. And then in 2017, we recruited Samuca from Brazil, who's another dancer with 1 leg. Perninha from Brazil, who has a malformation in 1 leg, who walks like with 1 big leg and 1 little leg. Crops from South Korea, who is a b-boy who actually survived an accident like in dance. He was at a rehearsal, he slipped, fell, broke his neck, and became completely paralyzed. If you ever saw the movie Kill Bill, he was that like Uma Thurman, like trying to wiggle her toe. Like Crops was in that situation for about 3 years, and then he got up and started learning to walk again. Like it took him a very long time.
A lot to talk, a lot to say, but he lived a lot. Like.
Yeah, and then most recently,
that's crazy.
We recruited. I'm sure you know Bboy Junior from France.
Yeah, of course, I'm a big fan.
Junior is part of the
first b-boy. One of the first international dancers that I became a fan of. They were b-boys, even though I was not doing b-boy anymore, because I tried. It was not really for me.
Yeah.
But I was a big fan of. Nagin,
yeah.
Nagin, because I was impressed with all the flips and all that. And then Junior, because he came to Montreal at some point. And for those who don't know, like, similar to you, like his upper body is more, it's a bit stronger than his lower body. And he used it so much, he can float in a way that you didn't know was possible.
Yeah.
He'll defy gravity, you know?
And yeah. And
literally.
For us, like, to have him in the crew, I mean, anyone that just types in breakdance, like, his video is the first that will just appear, right?
Huge, yeah.
And
not surprised.
He joined the crew in 2022,
Yeah.
And then most recently, we got Jean Souk, who's with Cirque du Soleil Love, who is also an amputee, and he uses crutches, but he has these crazy styles. And then we actually put down 2 other members who are not dancers, but they're more like spiritually, we just connect with them.
Nice.
So we have Claire Lee, who's been, ever since I started Ill Abilities, she's always been behind the scenes helping me.
Mm-hmm.
We officially put her down in the crew. And we have TJ Lee, who's used to be an old dancer, part of Quest Crew, so in LA, and he actually got in a car accident and broke his back.
Oh, yeah,
and
that's
had
recent?
well, it happened in 2015, 2016.
Okay, yeah. After the Quest Crew, after the TV and all that.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I don't know the exact year that he
Yeah.
got, but basically he has the same situation as Crops. And when
You
I
have to
met,
relearn or.
yeah, he had to relearn. He's walking, but he decided to become a physical therapist, an occupational therapist. And so now he works with dancers behind the stage and helps them with stretching techniques. And we actually had him come to Brazil with us most recently, and he was with Samuka behind the stage for Red Bull. So in between Samuka's rounds, TJ was working on him,
Yeah.
and we actually officially put him down in the crew in
Yeah.
Brazil.
That's
So-
crazy. So when y'all get down, like the vibration of the room change, because that's a lot of legends at once. You know, a lot of experience, because everybody got the experience already.
Yeah,
That's
well,
what's crazy.
that's the thing, you know, like everyone has their own unique style.
Yeah,
Everyone's
yeah,
made
yeah.
their own name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Everybody's independent. There's not like a coach, right?
no,
Except maybe when you do a performance, but most of the time.
but you know, we all just learn off of each other. And
Yeah.
like at the end of the day, even though I started the crew and I'm considered the leader, like we all pitch in different ways. Everyone has their own unique strengths. So when it comes to battling, someone will throw in an idea. It's like, you know what? If it feels good, let's just do it. You know, it's not like let's wait to listen to what this person says. It's like, okay, let's go in the moment. Let's all work with each other and everything. And it's like it's generally a crew. There's a company vibe to it because we do tour and like, you know, like we do charge for our shows and all
Yeah.
that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, it's more a brotherhood, you know.
Yeah, of course.
and-
But they will always gonna be there when you do something professionally. There's other stuff, but the real brotherhood, it shouldn't affect nothing. So that's
Yeah.
and everybody already had a professional experience, I bet. So
Yeah.
you're a family man too.
I
right?
am. I
How
have
many kids you got?
2 young daughters. I have right now, like as we're filming, like my daughter Aura, she's 9 years old, and my youngest daughter Luna is 4 years old.
Yeah. So did they travel with you?
When they can, yeah. So pre-pandemic,
Because you travel a lot, I bet.
Yeah.
We barely spoke about the hundreds of battles you probably did, the dozens of countries you visited. But yeah, so
yeah.
So you bring them around.
When I can, so
Yeah.
if it makes sense, you know. So pre-pandemic, Aura was traveling more with us. She was like, it was easier to travel. Luna, since the pandemic, it was harder to travel, but I was able to take the kids to a tour in Germany with me,
Yeah.
and then we went to Italy. I had some gigs there, and so when it's something that's like, I can stay in one place for like more than 5 days,
Mhm.
then I try to bring my family if it makes sense. But often with this type of lifestyle, it's like you're going to travel to one location, you do your gig, and then you have to travel like late night or early morning to another location,
Of course, yeah.
do a gig, and so it's really not worth.
It's
you
not
know,
always
when-
made for that.
No, when you have a 4-year-old kid who's like needs a routine lifestyle and a 9-year-old who needs a routine lifestyle, it's not very sustainable for them, and it's not good for me either.
Yeah.
I need my rest too, and then I'm worrying about them at the same time. So.
Do they know you're a legend?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, because like you're probably
Yeah.
their hero because you're the dad, but like, do they know, like who you are? You know, do they know the role, like, or how people see you when they travel with you, and you know?
Yes and no, in the sense that I think they're a little bit oblivious to it, but at the end of the day, I think that's also cool because
Yeah.
it kind of humbles me down.
Of course.
Um,
You're already a pretty humble person, but b-boy in general, I know there's always that energy. I never seen a b-boy that was not competitive. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I've just never seen it. You know?
Well, I mean, but that's
It's
part
beautiful,
of
of
it. but
course it is, yeah. That's why we do
need
what we
that.
do.
Well, yeah, we need that, right? In the
Yeah.
sense that there is that, like, as much as when you're battling against another person, you're battling against yourself
Fully.
to just try to do better than you were yesterday, you know, in that aspect of things. But that motivation of that face to face is just
Mhm.
like, okay, if it's an exchange of energy, you know. Even when you and I exchanged, you have
Yeah.
a completely different style than I do, but you inspired me to move a certain way, or you gave me the idea, be like, okay, well, you're going to do this movement. Okay, I wasn't planning on doing it, but because you did this, I'm going to do that. Like, and that's
we say these things, but with you, I know how real you live that because I felt it. Like I was like, that's crazy. Because normally people just do their thing in their style, but you were really watching me. I was like, wait, how does he like what I do? You know? Because I was like still very insecure. Like I have a big past of insecurities, and then like to that I don't really give a fuck. But when I started battling, because one of our first battle, it was early in my battle career. Let's say that.
Yeah.
I barely have a battle career. I didn't do 100 battle, maybe 60, 70, but not 100.
Yeah.
And yeah, you were like so like, oh, that's so cool, bro. I was like, what?
Yeah. Well.
How? Because I'm a fan. I was like starstruck. Like how does he like finds it cool, you know?
But
so I agree with you, but like we felt it. That's really how you live.
I think so, you know, and I think that, I mean, for me too, though, I also recognize that my style is different.
Mm-hmm.
So automatically, like, why would I come and like bring hate on? You know what I'm saying? Like compared to like two regular breakers, we'll say, they're like like that. I'm just like, well, you're not gonna be able to do what I can do, and I'm not gonna be able to do what you can do. So let's just have fun and let's make this an exchange. That's the way that I look at dance.
We should always do that, yeah.
And like just to give you an example, last week when we were in Brazil for Red Bull BC1, we battled. Like we made it to the top 4 as a crew, and this was also like what was really cool for
that
Crops.
Was BC1, right?
Yeah. So for Crops, it was his first time battling in 11 years from the day that he got in his accident, and like we got down, we made top 4, but the crew that we lost to was like Hong Ten and like all these like legends and like the Korean breaking world, the Korean and Japanese breaking world. They had a super crew.
It's a martial art discipline they have.
And like we went in and we did the exchange. Like we got smoked, but it was just pure joy. Yeah. And it wasn't like it was just
but
like
y'all know each
like,
other, I bet, because y'all
we met each other. I mean, you mentioned that the breaking scene is big. It's not. It's worldwide.
Yeah.
But it's like it's a small community. At the end of the day, like if you are on the circuit, you see the same people every single weekend. You know what I mean?
Those that travels all the time.
Yeah. So
that's crazy. So I want to talk about the Olympics a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it's a big event. There's some dancers watching. There's probably some non-dancers watching. Probably saw you on the Olympics. I saw him before and they went to the TV a bunch of time in Quebec, right? Like you're not new to this. So how was it to perform in the first time it happened with the Olympics? Let's say in 2010. It was in 2010,
so,
right?
well, in 2010 it was the Vancouver Paralympic opening ceremonies, and that was just an incredible experience because at the time that was like the biggest show of my life. We were at BC Place, 60,000 people, and the segment that I was a part of was called One Inspires All. So it started off with me completely by myself, and then ending up in the middle of the stage, and then being joined by Il Mask. And my stage is starting to rise as we were starting our choreography.
Oh, wow.
And then there's like 300 dancers coming into the field. And then there was dancers planted in the audience, and we did a whole flash mob. And so by the end of the dance, we had 60,000 people. Yeah.
That's pretty unique too.
And it was really special. And then it ended just with me on the highest part of the stage, and it went up like 60 feet in the air all by myself.
You're flying like Chris Brown.
And, well,
it shows.
the audience was roaring.
That's
and
crazy,
like,
of course.
For a couple years, I still had that. Like
everybody that was there, I bet they still remember.
Yeah, I mean, people do talk about it. Yeah.
Damn, the bar is different today.
Uh-huh.
No, I'm not complaining. I'm like, okay, they set the bar high. That was crazy performance.
It was fun. It was really, really a nice experience, and like, yeah, I'm still like forever grateful to have been a part of that.
Of course, and then. 2024 or 2024?
Well, just this past summer. So we did both the Olympics and the Paralympics. So just to make a quick little correction. So the Olympics, we didn't do the opening ceremonies. We actually did the showcase right before the finals of the breaking.
I apologize.
segment.
I actually didn't watch it.
No worries. No worries. But if you do get a chance, like I'm really proud of it because we brought like a contemporary break piece.
I'm going to watch it for sure, yeah.
It actually helped change the energy that night before the final battle, which Canadian Phil Wizard won the gold medal. And so like right before he won the gold medal, like we were performing on that stage. And for us as dancers with disabilities to be on the Olympic field, and then us B-boys for being a breaker for over 20 years, and having witnessed the evolution of dance and seeing breaking being on the Olympic platform was just like a historic, monumental moment for us. And just for me to witness that, and then to see Canada win the gold medal was just incredible.
Because like B-boy in the Olympics, which is so logical, because of how hard it is. Like you mentioned, like I mean, let's talk about like the power move, like the power heads and all that. There's nothing more physical than this. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was the first year, right?
It was the first year, and unfortunately, as of right now,
Yeah.
it won't continue. So in 2028, the Olympics is going to be in LA. LA had already determined prior to
Yeah.
Paris that they weren't going to take breaking, and it was all a financial reason.
Oh, yeah,
Because
okay.
the NFL got involved, and they're going to be doing flag football, and they're also going to be doing baseball, and so
They
those are
didn't see
team
fully the
sports.
value in it yet of like what it can be as a. Maybe it'll come back in the future.
Maybe, but they're team
Hopefully.
sports, right? So like a football
Yeah.
team or a baseball team that has like 9 to 15 members on the team,
Yeah.
all of them have to pay an inscription fee, where in breaking you have 2 to 3 dancers from each gender, so that's a
Yeah.
total of 4 to 6 dancers from each country paying an inscription fee versus
So you pay to go.
15.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have to be part of a club, right? So like you have to be part of your federation within each country. So like a Canadian, there's the Canadian Dance Sport Federation, and so
Okay.
all the dancers that were part of the Olympics had to register, and you pay like a membership fee. And
Did
all
they do
good
that
stuff.
for the Olympics, or it was already there?
Well, it was prior to the Olympics, so
Okay.
like
But
like
they
two,
took the
two,
they took
3
the
years.
lead in representing the.
Yeah. So we had to do
Paperwork part,
world
you know?
qualifiers and all that
Uh-huh.
stuff, and I was a judge. So actually, I had the option to either judge the Olympics or perform, and I chose to perform because
Yeah.
that was like a better lasting impact. And I've already judged a couple of the qualifiers, getting some of the dancers to Olympics, and the pressure and the stress is like it's not worth it.
For sure, they're gonna put it on you. Whether they liked it or not, they're gonna put it on the judges. You know.
Yeah.
Do
yeah.
you think how do you think did it represent well?
I think
The
that
sport, like did
live-
breakers were well represented? You know?
Live, yes.
Mhm.
There was an energy you don't understand. We had like a 6,000 to 8,000 person like venue.
Mhm.
It was outdoors,
Wow.
and the ground was shaking. Like you had everyone like,
Yeah.
and like in France in general, like people are passionate like
yeah,
in the
it's
sport,
known.
and so the French breaker Danny Dan came in second place, and the audience was just going crazy for
Yeah.
him, and it was just like beautiful just to be a part of that as well too. So I think that breaking was well represented. We had the actual music, like we had the rights
Mhm.
to use like the artist. It wasn't like pre-produced beats for TV. Like you actually had Wu-Tang, you actually had
Nice.
Tribe Called Quest, like we had Babe Ruth the Mexican
Oh, that's
play,
great.
So
Yeah, that's great.
so for us we were just like, this is amazing. What I will say was that there was a lot of drama with the federations and the
Mhm.
pointing system that led to some of the dancers to be where they are, and also in general, like there's complications because in order to be a part of it, you have to, like again, like I told you, the membership fees, and you have to like maintain like certain qualifiers and make sure you have your point structure, and so a lot of these dancers paid out of pockets to do these qualifiers. Some of them got sponsors, some of them got supported by their countries, but some of them actually went out of their own will
Their own
and their own
pocket,
pocket. So, and that's the same thing with a lot of athletes in general.
Mhm.
I mean, if like I have some friends who are swimmers, they're paying for their sessions in the pool. They're
So
like,
people that watch must know that it's representative, but to an extent of what the reality of the culture is.
Yeah.
I bet we don't see all the best people. I mean, the best dancer in Montreal that stay in his room, we're not gonna see him necessarily. We're not gonna think it's him, but he's there. Like that was poorly explained, but like there's so many
No, but-
elements to it basically that.
well, I know what you're trying to say. It's
Yeah.
just, like if we go back to skating, the reason why I talk about skateboarding is because
Yeah.
I used to skate before dancing,
Mhm.
and so I was very like into the whole skate culture. But if you look at the difference between X Games
Yeah.
and if you go to Venice Beach, there's probably some of the best skaters in the world in that Venice Beach skate park.
Yeah.
But you won't see them in the X Games, right?
Mhm.
And it's the same thing in the dance world. You've got some dancers, like whether it's breaking or whether
Yeah, I
it's
know some of
broke
them.
up or whether they're probably some of the best in the world, but you won't see them being featured in
Yeah.
like commercials or all that type of stuff. Part of it is either because they don't want to, or part of it is because they don't have the image. Like there's a lot of different things that kind of come into play with all of that, right? But here in Montreal, in Canada, we have, to me, he's like a legend in the breaking world, but he's one of those dancers that a lot of people don't know about. His name is Crazy Smooth. He's from Ottawa.
Okay.
This guy is like incredible. I mean, maybe today he's no longer as active as he used to be, but he's still active. He does a lot of theater dancing, but in terms of the breaking and battling world, like you won't see him battle as much. But there was times where he would go in and he would smoke the shit out of people.
In his prime, he was like the best, you know.
And not a lot of people know about it. And he actually got invited to other events, but he
Yeah.
didn't go because he was just like, no, I'm keeping it for myself. Or if
Yeah.
he did go, he just kind of underrepresented because he was just like, I'm just here to enjoy the vibe.
Mhm.
And he was more of a vibe-oriented person. And I'm talking from my own experience. Maybe he has other reasons, and I don't want to talk like behind his back, but I just want to say that he's like a hidden gem in
Yeah.
in Canada. Like
Many people don't know him that should, you know.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and then you have other dancers who are really good,
Mm-hmm.
who are worldwide known, but then you have other dancers who are just better, who just aren't in that
Mhm.
aspect of things. They're the ones that are worldwide known are just more like good networkers, you know.
I'm sure, yeah,
Yeah.
that's in every field. Then we could do hours. Okay, so I have two more questions for you.
Yeah.
First one that I like to ask to everybody if I can. What do you think? I mean, I bet everybody's agreed that street dance should be probably more valued in the society in general, or do you think it's probably, you think it's undervalued or properly valued?
So I think we as street dancers are generous
Oh, yeah,
in the
for
aspect of we will take the first offer when maybe our value is maybe higher than what it actually is. However, what I will say is that I also appreciate this underrepresentation / overrepresentation, like this kind of gray line that we're in, where it's like people think we're super cool, but yet we're still underground.
Yeah.
And there's that part of me that, you know, when breaking became part of the Olympics, I'm like, I'm happy, I'm proud to see breakers now actually making a living off battling. You know, there's dancers that have full-term like sponsorships that are paying a salary,
And they can do just that. Yeah.
just that.
Like Nagin and all these guys that
Yeah.
have been with Red Bull forever.
But what I would say is that there's that part of me that's like, you know, now that we have these parents, which I'm, again, earlier on in the conversation, I was like, for it. There's also that part of me that's like, okay, well, by doing this, we're also creating rules and limitations because we're like, okay, now more kids are involved, so let's be careful with how we do certain things. Where like before we were a little bit more careless, which was a good thing and a bad thing, you know. There's what I'm saying right now sounds a little bit contradicting, but what I'm trying to say is I like the fact that we have this like thing that's to us that I'm afraid that if we open it up way too much to the world, that we're going to lose that essence. But that's
The
also
essence, yeah.
maybe also I'm being a bit
No,
paranoid.
I think it's human, it's natural, like cultures did. You know, there's the traditional, the indigenous cultures. That's why some of them are very alive today. Yes, there's colonization and all that, but some people kept some knowledge relatively protected for them to survive the time, and that's why there's some culture that's going to have the same teachings as 200,000 years ago.
Yeah.
So I think it's very human. We've been doing that forever. We find something great, our culture is great. I think as far as we don't overprotect it sometimes and it becomes blocked. But you talked about that, having the open mind is the only way we can actually share for real.
Yeah. So
I think,
it's a sensitive,
yeah.
you know what I mean? It's like, I think we should open it up and I think we should share, but I also think that we should make sure that it stays within the essence, and then I guess that we don't allow like too many outsiders take control on that aspect of things.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that was one of the biggest fears with the Olympics
Mhm.
in all of that. It's like, okay, well, like right now there's a dance federation that is controlling the qualifiers.
Yeah.
Where are the breakers?
Yeah, I know some
And
of these
so-
dramas were wild, and like for example, Australia and all that. We heard a lot of drama on the
Yeah,
web
let's
now.
not
because
talk
of
about
that. I don't want to talk
that.
about that. But to come back to the point of that federation, some people that might not even know, they might not subscribe because they didn't even know it was there.
Yeah.
So like, but they should anyway. Okay. Damn, that's great. I have another question for you.
Yeah.
What's behind the move for you?
Behind the move?
It could be anywhere. It can go deep. It could go surface. Whatever you think right now.
For me, behind the move, I believe is that it really is about maintaining this legacy. So a little bit like what you're doing right now with this podcast, trying to educate yourself and also your viewers and all of that, is making sure that there is a legacy that lives beyond us, you know. So
yeah.
for me, in terms of my role as Lazyleggz within the Montreal and the worldwide breaking scene, like I want to make sure that like when I'm no longer here, that I'm still part of that history books. You know, I think that that's what helps drive me. You know, I believe that what we're doing with Ill Abilities, with the integrated dance classes that I work like here in Montreal, but a little bit all over worldwide, a little bit like what we're talking about Broke Up, how it's become like its own style because this one guy was just doing dance hall, but then started creating this one thing.
Yeah.
Well,
They made a style out of him, you know, almost. Yeah.
and I believe that like what we're doing with Ill Abilities is that we're opening up that platform for people with disabilities, regardless of your type of disability.
You know, he had a disability.
Huh?
Broke Up. That's why I was dancing. He was so different and so expressive and so full out. He had a disability. I'm not sure what it was. Again, it was a muscular thing, I think, or nervous.
Yeah.
And that's why it was so different in his style. But he, I'll send you more documentation.
Yeah,
about
I
that.
definitely would love to learn.
Yeah, of course.
But I believe that that's what's behind the move, is this idea of being able to say that, you know what, dance is for everyone.
Yeah.
And that, to me,
To
is
leave
why
a print, to leave something.
Yeah. And I think that those that are intimidated, those that are listening that have never danced before, really dance is all about the slightest movement making the biggest difference. So it's
Yes.
not about being like, oh, I can't move, I'm too big, or I'm too short, I'm too whatever. It's like, you know what, if you like the music and you're bobbing your head, you're dancing.
Yeah.
Add that expression to it. How does it make you feel? That's what dance, and that's what's behind the move,
Yeah.
to me.
No
It's
excuse, no limits.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Talking about no excuse, no limits, I want to hook you up with a bracelet. A
For
no
real?
excuses, no limits
Oh
bracelet.
my God,
So,
I'll frame it.
yeah. So,
Oh no, I'm gonna sleep with this.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
No worries, bro. Yeah,
Something else we didn't talk about
Yeah.
a lot, but like that you would like to add, or we'll do a part 2 at some point.
For
but
sure, yeah.
Something that you have going on that you think people should know. Or
So if this episode's coming out before June 5th to the 7th,
yeah, well,
Ill Abilities is coming to Montreal. We're organizing No Limits, which is it's going to be a free all ages event, and we have a breaking category called the No Limits Concept Battle, where we challenge dancers to dance like us. So
Yeah.
dancers who don't have a disability will spin a wheel, and at random they're going to be given a pair of crutches, a wheelchair, a blindfold, deaf, a weight pack, and they
That's
have to
wild,
compete.
yeah.
And it's total
Yeah.
freestyle, and it's beautiful. So I'd like to invite everyone. It's going to be at La Maison de la Culture in Hochelaga Maisonneuve, June 5th to the 7th. I'll send you more info.
oh yeah, we'll be there for sure.
Yeah.
And like you don't have to be B-boy to go. Like
No, it's
just
open.
to see that, just like people that just followed with the episode. Like we're talking about some legends from around the world all here together. We gotta see that. We gotta be there.
Amazing.
Where can people follow you?
Just go at Bboy Lazyleggz on Instagram
Yeah.
Mm.
or my website, lazyleggs.com. Legs is with the Z, not an S, so LAZYLEGZ.
You'll find him.
.com.
You'll find him
Yeah.
pretty easily.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming.
My pleasure. Thank you
It
so
was-
much.
It was
bro.
amazing.
Yeah,
It was a
keep
good
it up.
vibe.
Yes.
It's always great. Every time we talk, it's like natural, and like, you know what? And it was the first. You couldn't come before. If not, you would have been the first episode.
Oh,
You're
okay.
the first guy when I left with the first meeting for the show that I saw outside. I was like, well, we'll start with him. I was like, who should I invite?
Yeah.
I saw you. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So
Amazing.
I'm happy that you came today.
Yeah, I'm happy that we made it work. So.
Yeah, and thank you for following the move. Merci pour suivre le move. We didn't speak about the English scene too, like some stuff, so many
Français,
stuff we
anglais,
could talk
oui.
about. But like,
Prochaine émission, on va faire ça en français. C'est
On
bon?
peut faire ça,
Oui,
let's
on
go.
va faire un petit échange. c'est bon.
Italians one day if I learn about
C'est-
it.
Perfetto. Andiamo.
Alright, so merci de suivre le move, merci de faire le move, merci de danser à la maison, merci de supporter vos danseurs. Il y a tout ça à Montréal. Ça c'est à Montréal. We have a lot in Montreal. You have legends next to you, taking the bus with you, eating with you. They live right next door. They put us on the map 15,000 times. You know? So let's unite each other. Let's talk about that. And yeah, thanks for moving. Peace.